y'all don't know this, y'all in danger, I'm a threat.
Hello and welcome to day 2 of the 2023 IPF World Classic and Equip Sub-Junior and Junior Powerlifting Championships here in Cluj-Napoca, Romania, the capital of Transylvania. I am Amelia Potter. I'll be joined later by Alias de Book. But for now, it will be just me. This afternoon's session will consist of the 74 kilo sub-junior and junior men. It will be one flight, and in between each discipline, we will have a 20-minute break. As we just welcome in the referees and officials, I'll take the time to thank our sponsors, Aleco and SBD. Without them, none of this would be possible. We thank them for the kit we use and the clothes we wear.
Our TC is Nowomański Ondrej. Thank you very much.
We seem to be in for a good battle for the second and third position for the 74 kilo juniors, and a really close race between first and third in the 74 kilo sub-juniors. The two leading in sub-juniors, both on 595 projected totals, and that in third just on 595 kilos behind. We will be jumping between the two age groups, and it will say just a bit above their name which they land in there. Kicking us off, we have Shavkatbek Gapriznasov of Kazakhstan. ...180 kilos. Strong opening attempt for Gapriznasov. And it moved well as well. And it is a good lift. Exactly how you want your opener to look. We now have Kohei Sekaguchi of Japan opening with 190 kilos. Finding that perfect position for the bar to sit on his back. Really nicely executed there, super slow and steady into the hole, dips in and controlled on the way back up as well. A good lift. We now have James Emmanuel Sai of the Philippines, who have only been competing for 1 year and already competing here on the international stage, opening with 202.5 kilos. James Emmanuel Sai seems to be opening without equipped gear on, so he's wearing normal knee sleeves and not wearing a squat suit. Wow. And moving that like a last warm-up. 2 to 1, a good lift. Just gets a depth call from the side referee there. Let's have a look. This is the side that gave the red. And I'm not sure what they saw, but to me at least it looks like a really nice squat. Of course, they see it in a split second and have to make a decision. We now have Jacob Pennington of the United States opening on 220 kilos. Little sticking point on the way up. He shakes his head as if, I don't know what happened there. It shouldn't have happened, but nonetheless, green white lights, a good lift. Maybe a little bit of nerves there on the first squat, but he gets it in. It is a good lift. We have now our first sub-junior lifter to take the opening attempt, Lawson Lilo of the United States. Bit of a struggle out the hole, but it didn't slow down too much. It's a good lift. And I think he's signifying to his coach there he had a little bit of trouble dipping into the hole, which caused that kind of shaking on the way up. We now have Mizuki Saito of Japan opening on 220 kilos. He's got plenty of time. He only needs to get the squat command before the time runs out. The issue being sometimes if you have to re-rack, it leaves you with very little time to prepare yourself for the lift. But he still has 20 seconds, which is plenty of time. Strong looking opener there from Mizuki. And 2 to 1, a good lift. Just a depth call from the side referee there. From the side, we're getting the replay from here, so let's have a look. I think he just dips in there. Jury can overrule a lift that has either one red or one white. But it seems like they are happy with the last lift from Mizuki Saito. We now have Marius Aarhaug of Norway opening on 230 kilos. This is just 10 kilos below his current best. So should this move well, I imagine he'll exceed that today. Struggling to find the hole there. And unfortunately, 2 to 1, a no lift. The trade-off sometimes for the equipped gear is that getting down into the hole off a bench onto the chest is a lot more difficult. And I think there he just struggled to find depth. We have 230 kilos on the bar now for Dinesh SA of India. Wow, lovely depth there from Dinesh. And 3 white lights, a good lift, a really excellent opener, leaving lots of room to grow into the second and thirds.
135 kilograms. The bar is ready.
235 kilograms now for Richard Borsk of Slovakia. Has been competing since he was a sub-junior. Stands it up and gets the rack command there. And it is a good lift. You see that from the side angle here. Just reaches parallel there. He reaches depth, I think, on the line there, but there's no need to go super deep. You just need to go deep enough. Noja Sipas of Lithuania now with 240 kilos for his opening attempt. I believe the first Lithuanian lifter we've seen so far this competition. And that is a good lift. So this is a flight of 14 lifters. This is the largest a flight can be. So it gives them a good fair amount of time in between these squats for them to take off their gear, rest a little bit and put it back on. It's the longest amount of gap they would have in a flight. We have 242.5 kilos now for Mykola Hudanov of Ukraine. And that is 3 white lights, a good lift. Often you will hear the coaches from the sidelines during squats yell to their lifters when they've reached depth, when to stand up, and the lifter will just keep going down until they hear their coach say that. And it's a good technique because it's really quite hard to tell sometimes. We now have Aman Bhagat of India opening on 250 kilos. Started tipping a little bit forwards there, but did a really good job to keep pushing up and not let the bar move his body there. And it's a good lift. just as a point of reference, the world junior record for squat here in the equipped 74 kilo class is 343 kilos. So may not see that broken today, but seeing some hefty squats. We have Vladislav Bilus of Ukraine opening on 255 kilos in the sub-juniors. And the sub-junior world record as it stands is 287.5. So he is as near as anyone to that on his opener. That is a good lift. It's a little bit of work, but he moves it well. And that moves us on to our final opening attempt in this flight of men. And that is Min Chen Huang of the Chinese Taipei. 262.5 kilos. Our heaviest opener of this afternoon session. Really nicely executed there from Min Chen Huang. And it is a good lift. Kept really nice upright position through that entire squat. With a relatively wide foot stance as well. And as we head into second attempts, you can see where that lands us on the scoreboard amongst both 74 kilo junior and 74 kilo sub-junior men. Kicking us off, we have Shavkabet Gapazanov of Kazakhstan, 195 kilos, a 15 kilo jump. Wow. And that was a fantastic jump there for him. 3 white lights, a good lift. We have Kohei Sekiguchi of Japan now, 210 kilos, a 20 kilo jump from his opening attempt. Really tidy lifting from Kohei Sekiguchi there. 3 white lights and 20 kilos did not slow him down whatsoever. He's squatting pretty high bar there, which helps him with that upright position. It is a lot rarer to see. We have James Emmanuel Sai now of the Philippines, 215 kilos, a 12.5 kilo jump from his opening attempt. Has been competing for only 1 year. Really nice, tidy lift there. Still opting to wear knee sleeves and a normal singlet there instead of knee wraps and a squat suit. We have Lawson Lilo now of the United States, 227.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump. It says here his best squat is 240 kilos. He's been competing for 4 years. So it could have been at any point during those 4 years that he got that squat. And moving the weight really nicely. And it's a good lift.
Coming up next is Mizuki Saito from Japan, trying 227.5 to bar is loaded.
We now have Mizuki Saito of Japan, 227.5 kilos. This is over triple body weight territory now. And moving it like it's nothing. What an incredible thing to be able to do. 3 white lights and a good lift from Mizuki.
Coming up next is Marius Arnau from Norway. 230 kilograms on the bar. The bar is ready.
We now have Marius Arhaug of Norway. Missed his opener of 230 kilos. Coming back out for it now on his second. Strength isn't an issue. Now, was that any more convincing to the referees that he reached depth? Unfortunately, it was not. And that leaves him in a really tricky situation heading into his third. For those of you newer to powerlifting, you cannot bring the weight down at all from what you've already put out on the bar. So he has to stay at 230 or go up, which I can't imagine he's going to do. But he's really struggling to find that depth point. We have Jacob Pennington of the United States now, 232.5 kilos, a 12.5 kilo jump. And that is a good lift. Jacob's looking on really good form today. Noja Saipas of Lithuania now, a 10 kilo jump from his opener to 250 kilos. This will be a matched competition PB on his second attempt. You can see him there as his coach carries him in on his back. Gets the command just in time. Stands it up. And here's a good lift.
Coming up next is Richard Bosk from Slovakia. 250 kilograms on the bar. The bar is loaded.
Yeah, perfect depth there. Not wasting too much energy, but finds it at just the right place. Richard Borsk of Slovakia now. Got 235 kilos on his opener. Has now jumped 15 kilos to 250 for his second attempt. Seven seconds left, and he gets the squat command. Unfortunately, is a no lift, 2-1. Just got called on depth there from the side and center referee. Let's have a look at that in the replay. Yeah, unfortunately, just a little high there. We now have Dinesh of India, who opened on 230 kilos and has jumped 25 kilos for his second attempt at 255 kilos. This is a big jump in any case, but especially for the lighter weight classes. So let's see if this pays off for him. He opened already very high, and it looked good. Wow, stuck it through, and it has a lovely looking second attempt. 3 white lights, and actually a really good jump from Dinesh there. Opened already over triple body weight, and has flown past that now. Just welcoming back Elias here. Welcome back to the commentary booth here. We have Mykola Hudanov of Ukraine, 255 kilos.
All right, and the mic is back on. Thank you for the introduction.
He's got plenty of time to get that squat command. He wants to make sure he feels confident under that weight.
Very tall lifter for a 74.
And 2-1, that is a good lift. Just a depth call from the side referee there. Let's have a look at that here. You see the equipped lifters tend to just tip forwards to get the bar in the rack instead of re-walking it forwards, like the classic. 260 kilos now for Aman Bhagat of India.
Already 10 kilograms above his personal best. Let's see if he can manage this.
Really controlled there from Aman. And 2-1, a good lift. Just gets a depth call from one of the side referees. On the replay, we're going to see the side that got the white. Yeah, I think that could have gone either way. But when in doubt, you ear on the side of the lifter. We have Vladislav Bilus of Ukraine. 265 kilos. A 10 kilo jump from his opener and leading the squats in the sub-junior men.
And he really looks confident. This would already be a 5 kilograms personal best.
He is fighting it through. It was hard, but not hard enough to stop him. 3 white lights, a good lift. Yeah, tiny sticking point there in the middle, but he fights through it really well. And it is a good lift. We now have Min Chen Huang of Chinese Taipei. 272.5 kilos for his second attempt. A 10 kilo jump from his opener, which moved so nicely. He'll be our last lifter before we move straight through to the third attempts.
Trying to stay really tight. Drops into the hole and locks it out.
And it is a good lift. Yeah, he fights through a tiny sticking point on the way up. It looks hard, but maybe he'll go for a 5 kilo jump there for his third. Went for a 10 kilo jump from his first to second, so we'll have to see. He's got a pretty good lead as it stands, about 15 kilos overall. So it's worth trying to get those extra kilos in because he's not uncatchable. We now have Shabkabek, Gabruzanov. 205 kilos for his third and final attempt. And that looked nice and easy for Gabruzanov. And it is a good lift, a strong end to the squats.
The bar is loaded.
We now have James Emmanuel Sai of the Philippines, 222.5 kilos. This won't change his position overall in the squats, but helps him to build that total by adding an extra 7.5 kilos.
Looking nice and strong. Looks good.
Somebody did not tell him it was his third attempt. 2-1, a good lift. Just a depth call from the side referee there. And if that's how he moves in sleeves, I would love to see how he moves in wraps. Now we have Marius Arhaug of Norway. Missed 230 kilos on his first and second because of depth. He got 3 reds last time, so he really needs to convince the referees that he can squat this deep enough. It's his opening weight, so hopefully it's something he's confident enough to get down and up again. But we're going to have to see. He needs to get this squat to be able to post a total. And he stands it up. It looked deeper than before, but is it deep enough for the referees? For 2 of them it is. He gets 1 red, so we still need to watch out for the watchful eye of the jury. But that certainly looked better than his first and second attempts. And a fantastic effort from Ohaug. Kohei Sekaguchi of Japan now jumps 20 kilos again to 230 for his third and final squat attempt. Being handled there by his fellow athlete who competed yesterday. Oh, unfortunately the bar just tipped forwards onto his neck there.
Great catch from the spotters.
Yeah, it is really hard to come back from the bar rolling onto your neck. But he has had 2 other fantastic squat attempts. I think perhaps 20 kilos more was just a little bit too much today. We have Lawson Lilo of the United States now, 235 kilos for his third and final attempt.
Almost sprinting onto the platform.
Yeah, he wants to get there quickly. He's eager to go, and this will move him into bronze medal position for the squats. For the time being, with Saito to follow of Japan.
He manages to get it up, and it's a good lift, 3 white lights.
Yeah, he does a really good job of standing that up. Actually looked very similar to his other 2 lifts, just a little bit slower. He always had that little bit of a shake out the hole, but fights through it really well. Now, Mizuki Saito of Japan is also taking 235 kilos, but is ever so slightly lighter. So if he should get this, he will then move into the bronze position for squats. He is lighter by 40 grams.
Manages to stand up.
Yeah, lets out a scream at the top, and for good reason. It is a good lift. He walks away with the bronze squat medal in the sub-juniors.
And the bar is
242.5 kilos now for Jacob Pennington of the United States.
This also to match his personal best. He dives. Ooh, oh. The bar went slightly down, and the spotters were very quick with a very nice spot.
Yeah.
Not putting the lifter in danger. So he dipped and they reacted as they should have. Really nicely done by the spotters.
Yeah, as soon as the bar begins to dip, it's in the interest of the lifter to let the spotters and loaders take it off of you, because, you know, there's no point wasting energy there. You want to stay safe, you want to keep that energy. We now have Richard Borsk of Slovakia. Opened on 235, moved really nicely. Jumped then 15 kilos to 250. Missed it on his second and is coming back out now for it on his third. This will shift him into 4th place overall from 5th.
drives it up.
Question, was it deep enough this time round?
Unfortunately, 2-1.
Yeah, still not quite convinced enough of that depth. Let's have a look again here. It was better than last time, but I think just still not quite deep enough for the referees.
It wasn't super high, but it was definitely not convincing.
Yeah. And you need to convince really not only 3 people, but 6 people of that, with the jury being there as well. We have Nojas Saipas now of Lithuania, 257.5 kilos. And this will take him into bronze medal position for the time being, ahead of Dinesh.
Impressive push. And the referees agree 2-1. It's a good lift.
Yeah, that one red there was just for depth on this side. And he seems good unless the jury choose to overturn it. We have Mykola Hodanov of Ukraine now, 265 kilos, and this will move him into the gold medal position in squats for the 74 sub-juniors for the time being, with Belarus to follow.
Very tight. Fast in the, oh yeah, good catch, good catch.
Yeah, really great job from the spotters and loaders there. He just starts tipping forwards. Actually, his knees stayed completely bent during that tip forwards. Usually see people a little higher up do that, or a little lower down, but unfortunately not quite there today. He still walks away with the squat silver in the sub-junior class. We have just 4 squats left before we then head into a 20-minute break before bench press. We now have Aman Bhagat from India, 267.5 kilos. This will keep him in the silver medal position for the time being in squats, with the Dinesh to follow.
Trying to stay upright. Yeah.
Just a little bit too much, I think.
And I think he cut it short as well.
Yeah, I think his coach actually, told him to stand up a little bit early, and I think he knew he had to go a bit deeper, but maybe just wasn't able to. You can see his body keeps sinking, but his hips stay in the same place. We now have Dinesh of India jumping 12.5 kilos to 267.5 kilos, and this will take him from 4th place in squats to 2nd, getting him a silver medal. Ooh, it is a good push, but unfortunately just couldn't quite get the strength out of the hole there. And that leaves Bhagat with the silver squat medal. We have just 2 squats left of this afternoon session. First up of which we have Vladislav Belus of Ukraine with 270 kilos. He's already got the gold squat medal, but he wants to continue to grow that total because it is so close between him, Saito and Lilo.
strong.
Wow, he is on fantastic form today. And yeah, without a doubt, that was 3 white lights. You don't want to give the referees any reason to even think about their red buttons there. And he did not. We have our final squat of this afternoon session. And we have Minchun Huang of Chinese Taipei. He jumped 2.5 kilos to 275, and I think that's a sensible decision. 5 kilos would have really been a push. And he is in, like I said, a pretty good lead, but not entirely uncatchable, so he wants those extra couple kilos. Oh, and yeah, he was just at his limit with 272.5, and I think we knew that, and I think he knew that, but he came out and he fought anyway. But it still leaves him with a significant lead, a 15 kilo lead, I believe, over his competitors. We're about to head into a 20-minute break, but first of all, we'll have a look at where that leaves us after squats. We have Vladislav Bilus of Ukraine with squat gold in the sub-juniors. In silver, we have Mykola Hodunov of Ukraine. We have Mizuki Saito of Japan in bronze. In the juniors, we have Minchun Huang of Chinese Taipei in gold. Aman Bagat of India in silver. And Nojas Saipas of Lithuania in bronze. We'll be taking a short 20-minute break now. Don't go anywhere. We will catch you for bench press.
The bench press is the second movement performed in a powerlifting competition. It's a movement that mainly uses upper body strength. A slight back arch is authorized and allows for a stronger and healthier shoulder positioning. Laying down on the bench, the athlete has to create points of contact between his head, shoulder, glutes, and the bench. His feet has to lay flat on the ground, with the heels in the contact with the floor. Once that position is locked, the central referee gives the start command. The lifter lowers the bar until it touches his chest. The lower underside of both of his elbow joints have to be at level or below the top surface of each shoulder joint. He then has to stabilize the bar for the referee to give him the press command. The lifter has to push the bar back up until the complete extension of his elbows. The central referee gives the rack command and the lift is completed.
There are 4 main reasons to have a no lift on that movement. First, if you're not able to fully extend your elbows at the beginning and at the end of the movement. Second, if you don't touch the chest with the bar, or if your elbows don't go at level or below the top of your shoulder joint. Third, if you're not able to maintain all points of contact with the bench, knowing the head, the shoulders, and the butt. Fourth, if the lift isn't completed in a single upward movement.
Welcome back at the IPF World Classic and Equipped Sub-Junior and Junior Powerlifting Championships in Cluj-Napoca, Romania. My name is Elias de Buck, and these are the standings of the squats that we've seen before in the 74 kg Sub-Juniors and Juniors. We're starting with the bench press event, and we're going straight into the first attempt from James Emmanuel. He's opening with 120 kilograms. I notice him coming out without a bench shirt. So, in fact, he is benching raw. This might be a tactic to get an easy opener in. On the second, we might see a bench shirt.
Start. Press. Rack.
And that was very easy. And of course, those are 3 white lights. I think he's cramping up a bit. I see him grabbing his upper back, but he will be fine into the next round. Next up, Nojas Chipas from Lithuania. And he is opening up with 145 kilograms. He is wearing a bench shirt underneath of his singlet. This is already 5 kilograms above his personal best. A bit of work for an opener, but he pushes through, nice and easy. 3 white lights, good lift. Let's just look at the recap. So a little bit of a sticking point, but nothing to worry about majorly. So next up, we have Jacob Pennington. He's also opening up with 145 kilograms. He's a lifter from the United States of America. Looks like a smooth opener and 3 white lights. It's a good lift.
Coming up next is Nicola Hoganov from Ukraine, trying 145. The bar is loaded.
Next up, we see Hodunov Mykola from Ukraine. This is the sub-junior, opening up with 145 kilograms. So he's only 16 years of age, and he's already been competing for 5 years. So as you can see, the sub-juniors and juniors are lifting together. A bit of a sticking point there at the top. I don't know if he got it. Oh, he got it 2-1. Okay. So 1 blue. I think, did he get stuck against the rack? Yeah, you see, he got stuck on the rack. The referees are reviewing it. I mean, the judges, I'm sorry. The judges are reviewing. But we're all, oh yeah, unfortunately the jury has overruled the previous lift. But now on to the next one from S.A. Dinesh from India. And he is opening up with 150 kilograms. And that was how an opener is supposed to move. Very quick, very explosive. And of course, those are 3 white lights. It's a good lift. Next up, Sekiguchi Kohei from Japan, also opening up with 150 kilograms. It's already 2.5 kilograms above his personal best. Nice and controlled. Oh, a sticking point, but he manages to push through. And it's a good lift, 3 white lights. Okay. And we're going for the same weight for the 3rd time in a row for Bilus Vladislav from Ukraine. This is already 7.5 kilograms above his personal best. I hope his training went really well, if he's this confident in opening up so high. Oh no! That is unfortunate. I hope it wasn't a bad call in terms of weight. I hope it wasn't a strength issue and it was just a poor bar path. Yeah, he pushed to one side. I hope he can fix this for his second. Now we see Bhagat Aman from India. And he is opening 160 kilograms, already 10 kilograms above his personal best. We're seeing some big openers. Nice and controlled to the chest. He pushes. It was a bit of work, a little sticking point, but he gets 3 white lights, and it's a good lift.
From Slovakia, trying 162.5. The bar is loaded.
Next up, we have Borch Richard from Slovakia. And he is opening with 162.5 kilograms. This is 12.5 kilograms below his personal best. Okay, I think he got it. Yeah, 3 white lights, good lift.
162.5.
And we are back to a sub-junior. Mizuki Saito from Japan, opening up with 165 kilograms.
Bar is loaded.
You saw a little red mouthpiece. Some lifters use that so they can really bite down, so they don't mess up their teeth. Bit of, yeah. Oh, good catch, good catch. It could have ended way more badly. And he says thank you very much for the spot, because that was, yeah, good catch. Okay. He was having a hard time finding his chest position. Let's hope he can fix that on the second round.
And now the bar is loaded.
Next up, Shavkatbek Gaperzhanov with 170 kilograms.
Shavkatbek Gafurzanov, Kazakhstan.
Oh, well, that's nice. It's 3 white lights, good lift. Very nice. Now we go to the 4th and last sub-junior. So far, the other sub-juniors have yet to have a valid lift. Hopefully, Lilo Lawson from the USA can break that curse, and then the others will follow. 172.5 kilograms for Lilo's opener. Nice and controlled. No. I'm looking at the board and this is looking a bit scary. I really hope these lifters can put up a second attempt, a valid attempt, so they can still build a total. We have 2 more openers to go in the first round. Minchun Huang from Chinese Taipei with 185 kilograms. This is a huge opener. He had a bit of a hard time keeping that right arm in place, but nevertheless he pushes through and he gets 3 white lights and it's a good lift. On to the last opener. The Norwegian lifter Marius Argauk. $187.5 kilograms. And that looks like a good lift. So far we have, for the juniors, we have all good attempts. For the sub-juniors, unfortunately, none of them have yet to make a valid attempt. But let's see what we can do in the second round. And I am welcoming back my colleague Amelia. First attempt in the second round, we have James Emmanuel from the Philippines with 125 kilograms.
Yeah, really good show up from the juniors here. Everybody getting an attempt in.
And that's a good attempt to the one. We have 1 yellow.
Yeah, a yellow could be skipping a command or the lifting of the head, feet, or butt. You can see here the replay if we can see any of that. No, he seems good from here. Yeah, it seems I've come back to a challenging start for the sub-juniors here, with not one of them managing to get an opening attempt in.
Next up, we have Mykola Hodanov from Ukraine. He is retaking 145, as he should. Unfortunately, the jury has overruled the previous attempts. But this one is a good lift, and fortunately, and he's making a little cross. He's very happy he has one. He is on the board, and now he is able to make a total.
Yeah, and as we said before, the 74 kilo sub-juniors are so close together that, you know, all of them missing is probably a positive for the others, because if they all get their seconds now, they're still on equal ground. But yeah, Sai of the Philippines' second attempt has been turned over to a no lift.
Next up, we have Vladislav Bilus from Ukraine. He is also retaking his opener. Let's see if he can follow his teammate. And looks like he can.
Yeah, that looked really good there. And 3 white lights, a good lift. That bodes well for the following 2 athletes in the sub-juniors. They've set a good precedent.
Next lifter, we have Nojas Chipas from Lithuania.
Yeah, Nose managed to get his opener in.
He jumped 7.5 kilograms from his first attempt.
Still moving well there.
A little bit uneven on the way up, but nevertheless a good lift.
Yeah, and he gets another lift on the board there. Normally when a lifter is uneven, it just shows more and more when the weight goes up. So it seemed right there, and I'm hoping it doesn't affect him too much in his third attempt.
He does need to make sure his right shoulder stays on the bench. Next lifter on the board is Jacob Pennington from the USA. And his second attempt is 155 kilograms. 10 kilogram jump.
Really lovely soft touch there from Jacob. And it is a good lift. Found his chest really nicely, which we know can be challenging for the equipped lifters, but you can see here, so controlled on the way down, touches so softly, so gets the command quickly and moves it well.
So next up we have Kohei Sekiguchi from Japan, jumping 7.5 kg. He had a bit of a sticking point on his opener. Let's see if he can bypass it again on his second attempt. And that was way better.
That is a good lift, 3 white lights and moving smoothly.
Nice and even this time. Next up. Just waiting for the replay. I'm sorry. Next up we have S.A. Dinesh from India. And he went up 15 kilograms.
Yeah, 10 kilos below his current best, so we think this should be well within reach. Although at the age of 21, already competing 8 years, so that 175 PB could have been at any point during that, in any weight class.
It's definitely harder than we thought. But I think he might have gotten it. Oh no, 2-1, no lift.
Yeah, just got 2 blues from the centre and right-hand referee for downwards movement there. You can catch that on the replay, the right arm dips there.
Yeah, it did.
And unfortunately, if the bar moves down,
Yeah.
then it is a no lift. What you did at the top is okay. You can move one arm up at
Yeah.
a time. But if the bar dips, then unfortunately it is a no lift.
We go back to Mizuki Saito from Japan. Let's hope he can follow his fellow sub-juniors and get a valid bench press on the board.
Yeah, he did open up 7.5 kilos above his current best, so let's hope it isn't a strength issue at all.
It's better on the way down than his opener. Okay, and he fights through.
There we go.
On his opener, he was very slow on the way down, and he might have just burned too much energy.
Yeah, and when lifters tend to slow down on the descent, a lot of the time they can just really be overthinking it and end up tempoing it essentially.
And I remember his bar fell towards his face, so he probably just misgrooved it, didn't keep it in the efficient line of the bar path, and the spotters did a great job catching it. So next up we have Richard Borch from Slovakia, and he went up 5 kilograms to 167.5.
Oh, a little bit of trouble in the middle there. Not sure if there was some downwards movement there. And yeah, unfortunately 2-1, a no lift. He gets blue for downwards movement from the center referee and a yellow, so a different infraction from the side referee, which I'm wondering if that was some sort of butt lift.
It's possible.
But unfortunately it is a no lift. But he still has a third attempt to come out and try and get that.
So next up we have Aman Bhagat from India. Second attempt, a 10 kilogram jump to 170 kilograms. His previous attempt was already his personal best. Let's see if he can manage a 10 kg jump.
Nice looking second attempt there for Aman. Just waiting for the side referee there, but it looked good from here.
Waiting for the judge's decision.
And 2-1, a good lift. Just a yellow from the far side referee there.
We couldn't see anything on the replay.
So we move forward onto the next lifter anyway.
And that's Lawson Lilo from USA. He is the last sub-junior and the last lifter, in fact, that hasn't gotten a valid bench press in yet. So hopefully he gets this one.
Yeah, he just got told by the center referee there that his fingers need to be covering that ring. His grip was too wide.
Really slow and controlled descent. And this time he's pushing through. Okay.
And let's see what the referees say there.
2-1, good lift.
Yeah, he got a blue infraction from the side referee there. I think it would have been for downwards movement, but I think it moved side to side, not down, so he should be safe there.
Next up, we have Shavkatbek Kapurjanov from Kazakhstan with 175 kilograms. Three red plates. Oh, and it looked easy.
Yeah, that puts him in a great position heading into third attempts and also puts him into bench bronze heading into third attempts for these 74 kilo junior men.
Setting the bar at 192.5. Bar is loaded.
So next up, we have Min Chun Huang from Chinese Taipei. And he has jumped 7.5 kilograms from his opener. Let's see if he can widen that gap between him and Chipas. It's definitely a fight.
Yeah, it was a little bit hard, but it looked good, and it was 3 white lights. I think he's nearing his top end there, but does really Great job there, pushing the total a little bit more each time. We have now our final second attempt from this flight of lifters.
And that's from our Norwegian lifter, Marius Arag.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it would have been a wasted effort to continue pushing
Yeah.
that through because there was a dip.
Maybe he knew.
Yeah, I think, you know, we can all see it. That's why you made your sound, and I'm sure he could feel it as well. So he's better off just letting that go and giving himself another chance at it on his third attempt if he can muster the strength for it. And that moves us straight into third attempts. It will be one athlete shorter, as Sai from the Philippines has chosen to not come out for a third attempt. Following all of the benches, we'll go into a 20-minute break before coming back for deadlifts to find out who ends up where on the podium with what color medal.
The spotters are just cleaning up the bench so that each and every lifter has the right circumstances to lift him. So for the first attempt, well, the first in this third round, of course, we have Mykola Hodunov from Ukraine, and he jumped to 150 kilograms. Look good. It's hard to imagine you fail your opener on what I thought was a strength issue. Then he did it again on a second, got it, and then went up even 5 kilograms, and it looked easier than his previous one.
Yeah, equipped benching is really unpredictable, and we've been proven wrong a few times today on what we thought were strength issues. A great example in the women's flight this morning. So expect the unexpected.
We are progressing to Vladislav Bilus from Ukraine. Let's see if he can follow the lead of his fellow Ukrainian lifter with 155 kilograms.
Yeah, strong looking third attempt there and a good lift. Probably the planned jump from first to second, and it's a smart decision to not try and make up the difference there. You want to make sure that you get the extra kilos of what you have, not what you wanted to land on.
So the third attempt of Naus Sipash, 162.5.
So Noju Sipash being the first Lithuanian athlete we've seen and doing an excellent job representing. Currently sat in projected second, only 7.5 kilos as it stands behind Huang. It's a great fight there on his third attempt. Thumbs up as well.
And he's really happy with that one. So now indeed he's only 7.5 kg behind Huang.
Yeah, and Sipash also has a mammoth deadlift on him, opening 40 kilos ahead of Huang.
Next up, Kohei Sekiguchi from Japan, 162.5. A 5 kilogram jump, from what was his personal best. Well, is not rushing at all, taking his time. Just a stitch too heavy.
Yeah, unfortunately, just not quite there today.
Next is Dinesh from India, trying 165.
It's probably the least frustrating thing on your third attempt to miss on strength, because you know that you put everything else into it. It's much more frustrating walking away knowing it was a technical issue.
They're cleaning the bench again, so that every lifter can have the right circumstances. Every lifter deserves the same circumstances.
Yeah, with all the lifters coming out with chalk on their back, it helps them with grip, but also it fills up the little gaps in the bench and can clog it up and making it slippier actually for lifters to follow.
So now we go into the final attempt for S.A. Dinesh from India. And his third attempt is a retake from his second with 165 kg. Very nice and controlled, and this time he pushes through.
Yeah.
I think he gets this one.
3 white lights, a good lift. Yeah, wow. What a final attempt to come back and push through. Really great effort from Dinesh there.
The bar is loaded for Jacob Pennington.
Next up, as you're just seeing on the screen, we have Jacob Pennington from the USA coming out for his third and final bench attempt. He jumped 12.5 kilograms.
And this will be a Dolly Parton jump. It will take him from 9 to 5.
That was a good one.
Unfortunately, just a little bit too much today for Jacob Pennington.
Coming up next, it's Richard Bosk, 170. The bar is loaded.
We are going to Richard Borch from Slovakia. And he's coming out for 170 kg. He did miss his second of 167.5, but he said, hey, you know what? I want to do 2.5 more. Let's see if it pays off.
He shakes his head and walks off the platform.
He's getting a cramp, I think.
Yeah, I think the wrist straps might have been pretty tight there. And I think he just decided as he laid down that he's not going to take the attempt, not going to risk it, not going to waste energy. And the clock times out for him here. Smart decision, I think. Not worth the risk heading into deadlifts.
Also a quick shout out again to the spotters. They're doing a phenomenal job with the loading and the spotting. And we go on to the last bench attempt for Mizuki Saito from Japan with 172.5 kg. This is a very important lift for him because, as Amelia said before, it's very tight for the sub-juniors.
Yeah, and this will also bring him into bench gold for the time being, with the Lilo to follow. That's a lovely looking third attempt for Mizuki Saito.
And he knows it.
Yeah.
He's very happy. And this brings him a bit closer to, to the podium.
Yeah, and it is so tight right now. Lilo and Saito are on the same projected total. And so this will take us right until the last moment.
We're going now to Aman Bhagat from India for his third and final bench press with 175, 5 kg jump.
And this will take him into the bronze medal position for bench for the time being.
And that looks very smooth. No sticking point. It was heavy, but a very good attempt. 3 white lights.
Yeah, hitting that milestone of 3 red plates either side as well. A really nice looking third attempt. And that bronze medal can only be taken away by our next lifter,
which is Shavkatbek Kaperzhanov from Kazakhstan with 177.5 kg. Under the watchful eyes of his coach. Yeah, I think we saw something there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that right-hand side, and unfortunately the referees saw that as well. 3 red lights. Unfortunately, if you look here on the replay, you can see that right-hand side right here dips down before he locks it out.
He pushed the bar a bit too far to the right, and it was too heavy for that side. So now for the last sub-junior, Lawson Lilo from the USA with 180 kilograms. This is to take back bench press gold from Saito.
Yeah, and it's going to be tight all the way until the end between Lilo, Saito and Belush.
No.
Unfortunately, yeah, there was a little bit of a dip there, and so it got taken off of him. So he doesn't take bench press gold, but that still does not leave him out the mix for overall podium.
We're going into the last 2 bench press attempts from this group. We have now Min Chun Huang from Chinese Taipei trying to get that 195 kilograms.
Yeah, perhaps feeling like he's at his top end here, but is looking for those extra kilos, like we said, to stay ahead of Sipash. Wow, he's
It's an incredible fight, but he keeps with the bar.
And actually, I think there is a... Oh, unfortunately. Well, he's got 1 white light, so let's look at the replay and see if there was some downwards movement there.
I didn't. Mm, it's
It's a tough call,
yeah, it's a tough call.
and one only the jury can make. We'll keep you informed on that if anything changes.
But for now, we go to the last bench press. Our Norwegian lifter Marius Arhaug,
Yeah,
197.5 kg.
and this will take him into bench press gold. Should he get this?
And he's doing it.
Wow.
He's doing it. I think he did it.
Yeah, was he locked out at the end? I think he was. And it's a good lift. He walks away with bench press gold. What a way to finish the bench there for him.
And we're going to look at the scoreboard in just a second. So, for the bench press, we have in first place for the 74 kg sub juniors Saito Mizuki, followed by Lawson Lilo from the USA, and then in third place we have Vladislav Bilus. And for the juniors, in first place we have our Norwegian Marius Arhaug. For Chinese Taipei in second place, Min Chun Huang. And in third place we have Bhagat Aman from India. Now for the subtotals, in first place for the sub-juniors we have Vladislav Bilus from Ukraine. In second position, Mizuki Saito from Japan. And USA Lawson Lilo in third place. And then for the juniors, we have Min Chung Huang from Chinese Taipei in first position, Aman Bhagat for India in second position, and Marius Arhaug for Norway in third. We're going to take a short 20-minute break. Don't miss the final deadlift event, and we'll be back to you soon.
The deadlift is the last movement of the powerlifting competition. On that movement, the lifter's whole body is used and put to the test. The athlete approaches the bar once the central referee calls bar loaded. He then has 1 minute
to start the lift.
In the conventional or sumo position, the athlete has to pull the barbell until his shoulders, hips, and knees are fully locked. Once that position is assumed by the lifter, the central referee will give the down command. The bar has to be lowered to the ground without the lifter being allowed to drop it until it touches the floor, which completes the lift. At the end of deadlift, the powerlifting total is made, which determines the winner and final placings. There are 4 main mistakes to avoid. First, not locking your shoulders, hips, or knees at the end of the movement. Second, not completing the lift with a single upward bar movement. Third, completing the lift hitching at the legs in order to allow you to do so. Fourth, dropping the bar after the central referee down command.
Hello and welcome back to the IPF World Classic and Equipped Sub-Junior and Junior Powerlifting Championships. I am Amelia Potter, joined here by Elias de Buc.
You pronounced it very well this time.
Thank you very much. So as you can see here, as we head into the final lift of the day, deadlift, we've got quite the fight on our hands in the juniors and in the sub-juniors for those podium positions. And as we know, those with the bigger deadlifts can usually make those bigger jumps and catch up with the leads.
The subtotal isn't always all saying. It's a lead, but like you said, there are some deadlift specialists that can come out of nowhere and catch up.
Yeah, a good example of that is Sipash, who has an opener of 280, who's just 5 kilos behind Huang, who has an opener of 240. We have now Shavkabek Gaburshanov, 180 kilos.
Makes easy work of that. And it's a good lift.
Yeah, it says here his PB is 260, so I'm wondering if Gaburshanov is injured or whether that was in a different weight class, but either way, he has a lift on the board and he has secured himself a total. We have now Mykola Hudanov of Ukraine opening on 190 kilos.
Yeah, a little bit of the same story here. His personal best is 247.5. So we wonder what's up with that. He gets it. Oh, yeah. I think he has a little issue. He was grabbing his right thigh.
Yeah, but the good news is he secured himself a total with that. So that at the very least is sorted. But yeah, you can see there he grabbed, looked like the bottom of his hip or the top of his, as you said, thigh. Jacob Pennington of the United States now, opening on a cool round 200 kilos.
17.5 kg shy of his personal best. And makes easy work of that one.
Yeah, this is such an important lift because it secures, as we said, that total, and it means you are safe to continue to build, continue to grow. And it is a good lift. We have Kohei Sekiguchi of Japan now, opening with 200 kilos, just 5 kilos below his best.
And he makes easy work with that. And the referees agree. 3 white lights. It's a good lift.
Coming up next is Lawson Lilo from the United States, trying 202.5. The bar is loaded.
Yeah, has a really good position there. We have Lawson Lilo of the United States now opening on 202.5 kilos. Now Lawson's been lifting so well today.
Very nice lift.
Yeah, and he is quick
3
off
white
the
lights.
platform.
I think for the second and third attempt he should really take notice to his lockout, that it's convincing. It was locked out, but you don't want to, you know, leave the door open.
We have Vladislav Bilush of Ukraine opening on 207.5 kilos. Currently leading the pack into deadlifts. Do you think it's a case for him of just keeping safe decisions all the way throughout deadlifts to keep that lead?
I think so. He has more to lose than to gain at this at this point. Sorry, and that was a good lift and a good decision.
Yeah, he's been lifting really efficiently all day, and that's exactly how you get that good result, is by lifting well what you know you have and just building that total slowly.
And in my opinion, it's better to open light and make a bigger jump than opening too heavy and not being able to go anywhere.
Absolutely. We have Marius Arhaug of Norway opening on 210 kilos.
7.5 kg below his personal best.
Nice steady opener there for Marius, and it is a good lift. I mean, there definitely are different styles that coaches and teams approach attempts with. Some teams you do see open heavier, closer to the max, than just try and build it from there. But a more sensible approach, as you said, that you see more often is opening light and taking bigger jumps, and it's less risky that way. We have Mizuki Saito of Japan opening on 210 kilos, the heaviest opener in the sub-junior class.
Only 10 kilograms below his personal best. And he smiles.
Yeah, that is a lovely looking opener for Mizuki, and a good lift. He will be fighting Saito. He'll be fighting, to stay in third with Hodinov on his tail. We have Richard Borsk of Slovakia now, opening on 235 kilos. They've just requested there that the bar has been brushed down, which you can request at any time.
The bar is ready.
.23 kilograms below his personal best, with a closer to sumo stance. Looks like a good lift. What do you think about the different deadlift positions?
I think it very much depends on the lifter's leverages. You're going to see someone with perhaps longer arms, go for the conventional, longer torso maybe for sumo, but it's very much what feels comfortable to the lifter to shift the most weight. We have Min Chen Huang of Chinese Taipei opening on 240 kilos. the current leader in the junior class. With Sipash hot on his tail.
If he gets this. And it was a bit more work than I thought.
Yeah, I
but he
was worried
does.
you cursed him a little bit there beforehand, but luckily he gets the lift.
The commentator's curse, right?
Yeah, I've heard it a lot. But he's absolutely fine. Yeah, like you said, it was a little bit harder than you would like. With sumo, you generally have to be pretty patient off the ground.
Maybe use a bit more baby powder on his legs because it looked like he was a bit stuck.
Yeah, for those of you newer watching, that's not chalk on the leg, it is baby powder or talc, and that is to help the bar glide up the leg a bit easier than it would against skin or hair.
It lessens friction.
Dinesh of India now.
If you blinked, you missed it.
Yeah, 240 kilos, flying like an empty bar.
Well, his PB is 290, and I think he's gonna make a huge jump now.
Yeah, and that's a sensible choice to make, you know, open light, make a bigger jump, but just get your total secured. We have seen people bomb out on squat, on bench, on deadlift, and it just isn't worth it.
For those who are listening, bombing out is a term that we use when you have no valid lift on the board for a certain lift.
Which means, of course, you can't post a total. We have Aman Bhagat of India, 255 kilos.
5 kilograms above his personal best. And makes easy work from his opener.
Yeah, and he is going to want to make every lift he can to keep that bronze medal position from his teammate Dinesh, who is just 10 kilos behind him. We have James Emmanuel Sai now of the Philippines, our penultimate lifter to make their opening attempt, with 277.5 kilos.
He's very much into contention for a deadlift medal, not so much for a total.
Absolutely, but if you're in contention for a medal and it
And
moves like
was
that,
easy.
and it's a good lift. Now it's worth mentioning, since we're getting nearer and nearer to that weight and we don't know the jumps that they're going to make, that the world junior record for deadlift in the 74s is 315 kilos. And though we're a little way off that right now, like I said, we don't know the jumps that they're going to make. And our next lifter, Noyus Sipash from Lithuania, is opening with 280 kilos. And if it moves well, a 20 kilo jump is not out of the question. We'll have to wait and see.
And this is 5 kg below his personal best. Let's see how much progress he has made so far.
Ooh, unfortunately, just lost balance there on his way up. We see that again in the replay. It's a no lift, unfortunately, but he has 2 more attempts at that. Yeah, his knees lock out there, and he just tips forward before he can lock it out. So hopefully he can just get his hips through next time. And just like that, we have concluded our opening attempts with everybody bar Sipash getting their lift in and managing to secure a total. We have Saito leading in the sub-juniors, and we have a really exciting battle to come with James Emmanuel Sai leading deadlifts in the juniors. We have Shavkabek Gabyuzhanov of Kazakhstan, 185 kilos. And that is a good lift. Slow and steady wins the race. We now have Mykola Hodunov of Ukraine. Opened on 190 kilos, has jumped now to 207.5, so a 17.5 kilo jump.
But remember, after his opener, he was grabbing his hip or his thigh. Yeah, it's just.
Just not budging, unfortunately. Now, what do you think that would have been for there?
I just think he perhaps with squat he overdone himself a little bit, and he might have like a little strain, and that is with these kind of weights that's enough to just call it there.
Yeah, and he did exactly that. You know,
Yeah.
he said, I'm not going to come out for my third day, I'm going to leave it and take my total. We have Jacob Pennington of the United States, jumping 15 kilos to 215 for his second attempt. And that is a lovely looking second attempt.
And it's a good lift from Jacob Pennington. Coming up next, Vladislav Vilus from Ukraine. He's going to take on the 50 pounds loaded. Vladislav Vilus.
Vladislav Bilush of Ukraine, jumping 7.5 kilos to 215 kilos. Now this will move him into deadlift gold for the time being.
Great wedge.
Yeah, he's been lifting so well today, making really sensible decisions, and that is why he has got a hefty lead now.
Yeah, and you see he's still pretty far off from his deadlift PB, but if you look at the prognosis, he's building a nice gap.
Yeah, and it's not about going to every comp and PBing all your lifts. It's about building that total and, you know,
Securing the win.
Absolutely. We now have Marius Ahaug of Norway, 217.5 kilos, 7.5 kilo jump. And it is a good lift. I know that you were a little bit worried on his opener that he wasn't able to pull his shoulders back. He's doing a good job of maintaining that. And as long as they don't slip any further forward, he will be fine.
This was a lot better than his opener, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see what he can do on his third.
We now have Lawson Lilo of the United States, 217.5 kilos. He will be fighting Saito for that silver medal overall.
Wow. That was fast.
Yeah, and he is just as fast off of the platform as he was to lift the weight. 3 white lights, a good lift. Lilo is on great form today. We have Kohai Sekiguchi of Japan, who has jumped 20 kilos to his second attempt. 220 kilos now.
If he gets this one, he beats his own personal best with 15 kg already on his second attempt. And he finishes strong. 3 white lights, good lift.
Yeah,
for
and that
Mizuki.
20 kilo jump didn't slow him down too much. And that's such a benefit of opening so light, is you can make those bigger jumps and the weight can still feel good and move well like that.
And now he has a really good grasp of where his top end is.
Absolutely. We have Mizuki Saito of Japan now, jumping 10 kilos to 220. And as I mentioned before, he will be fighting Lilo for that silver medal position until the end, I'm sure.
He smiles again, just as his opener. And it's again a good lift with 3 white lights.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what he puts in for his third there, as it is so close between those two lifters. Min Chin Huang of Chinese Taipei now jumping 5 kilos to 245. Again, it is the case of building the total slowly and carefully, like Belush in the sub-juniors is, because he has the lead currently, but only by 5 or so kilos.
And his opener was a bit of work, more than you would like to see on an opener. But let's see if he can build it.
Wow, did a great job there, actually.
He maintained his position very well. It just looked the same as his opener. Maybe just that is just his deadlifting style.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's a question of, you know, what is he going to do now? He has the lead, but only by 10 kilos ahead of 2 other lifters should they make their next deadlift.
I was gonna ask you, what would you do in this position?
I think the best thing you can do is keep focused on themselves, build the total as much as you feel you can on that day, and then you just have to leave it in the hands of fate. You can't try and push yourself in that position, I don't think. We now have Richard Borsk of Slovakia, 247.5 kilos for his second attempt.
Also a bit of work, but it looks good. And it was 3 white lights, good lift.
Yeah, that's a nice, steady looking deadlift. You can see here, he maintains the pull all the way up. It doesn't stop, it does slow down, but it shows that he has a little left in the tank there. We have Dinesh of India now, jumping 20 kilos to 260.
Very easy, very easy.
Yeah, wow, that looked really good. And that has thrown a bit of a spanner in the mix there, actually, because
He's getting closer and closer to the mix.
yeah, he's not so far away from the podium, especially with how well that 20 kilo jump looked, because, you know, I could see another 10, maybe 15 kilos in him, should he want it.
And I think he's put in 300 kilograms for his third. That is a placeholder, I would think.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna pull what he needs to pull for whether he wants gold, silver, or bronze.
Yeah, it would be his to decide later. You have Aman Bhagat of India now, 265 kilos, another name in the mix. And again, that was a really nice looking second. And actually, I think it's ending up a lot closer than it looked on projected.
Very true.
So when it comes to third deadlifts, it's going to be very exciting. And for those of you at home who don't know, a placeholder is when the coaches put it in a number which is likely to be much higher. So all the lifters have to lift before them, and then they can bring it down to whatever weight they need to put in to then lift afterwards. It, of course, has to be higher than the lifter before them, but it gives them the opportunity to know how they did and put in afterwards. We now have No Use CPASH, 280 kilos, just missed it on lockout. Can he get it now on his second? He is pulling through.
I think he rested on his thighs.
Yeah, unfortunately, 2-1, a no lift. He gets a blue from the center and side referee there, as you said, for just assisting there. His knees dip under the bar, and he uses his legs slightly to assist the bar up. So he has one shot left at that. If not, he won't be able to post a total, unfortunately. He can still walk away with his squat medal, but unfortunately not an overall. We have James Emmanuel Sai of the Philippines now, 287.5 kilos, our heaviest second attempt, before moving through to the third attempt. So we will see some battles, I am sure.
This for a 10 kg PB. Ooh, that was very easy. Okay, now, as we are heading into the third round, I have a question for you.
Go for it.
What would you do if you were Dinesh? So he's in third place now. Would you try to pull for the win for gold and maybe try pulling something you cannot do? Or would you be like, I'm going to take the more secure route and going to pull for silver?
Well, should Huang get his third attempt, I think he would have to jump 35 kilos at least, 35 kilos I think, to be able to pull that. And that is a very risky strategy because that is a big jump. I mean, the 20 kilo jump was good, but obviously it's getting heavier and heavier. So I think what could be the sensible choice is make sure you're pulling for the podium position that you think is most likely. Don't rely on other people missing. I think that's a really risky way to go. But
I think that that was very insightful.
well, thank you very much. We have Shavkabet Gapurzinov of Kazakhstan, 190 kilos for his third and final attempt.
And he finishes strong.
And it is a good lift and a great end to the day for Gapurzinov. We have now Vladislav Belush of Ukraine, jumping 7.5 kilos to 222.5. Currently sat in first place overall, and this will take him to deadlift gold medal for the time being, with Saito and Lilo to follow.
The bar is loaded. Vladislav Belush.
Now, if he misses this, he won't be impossible to catch up to for Saito and Lilo. So this is to make that gap much harder for the other lifters. And just like the rest of the day, he is lifting so well.
Very easy. And I think he pulled himself into so far in the lead that I think Saito won't be able to catch him.
Yeah, Saito and Lilo would have to add 7.5 kilos more to the jump that they've made. So they'd both have to lift 240 to catch up to Belush now. And those would be some pretty big jumps. We've got Jacob Pennington now of the United States, jumping 12.5 kilos to 227.5. And they've had an attempt change in. And we have seen Lilo go up to 240 kilos, as we just discussed they would need to do for the win. So we will see how that unfolds. I imagine they will wait for Saito to lift and then decide if they want to pull for the win or for silver.
His second attempt was easy, so let's see what he can pull off on his third. Strong pull.
Wow, a fantastic finish to a great day for Jacob Pennington there, and a good lift. He should be very proud of that performance.
Coming up
We now have Marius Ahaug of Norway jumping to 225 kilos for his third and final attempt. Which must be an error of some sort, because we just had a lifter take 227.5, it says on the screen. But it is not the fault of the lifter, so we move on. 225 kilos for Marius Ahaug. Finish the day off strong.
A little wobble, but I don't think the bar went down.
We'll see what the referees say.
It did,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
It did just dip down there on the way out. We'll catch that in the replay again. And unfortunately, he celebrated a tad too early there. Right there.
It was very marginally, but nevertheless, it was there.
Yeah, it's really hard when your knees lock and unlock to keep the bar moving up.
Yeah.
It's natural, that's the way your body wants to go. We now have Kohei Sakaguchi of Japan jumping 15 kilos to 235.
A general announcement now. The second session, the third session of the day, will be delayed 1/4 hour. It will start at 16 and a quarter, not at 16 hour. Session 3, 163 kilograms and 69 kilograms, will begin at 16 and a quarter.
Trying to add 15 kg on his personal best. And on to his second attempt, which was easy. Here he goes. And he's pulling.
Wow.
And I think he did it.
That is such a fantastic third attempt from Kohei.
Great lift. 3 white lights.
Yeah, wow, what a fantastic end to the day there. A really proficient puller. Now it seems like Saito has also put in an attempt change for 240 kilos. Oh, and unfortunately, Sakaguchi's lift has been overturned to a no lift. 240 kilos now for Lawson Lilo of the United States. He's pulling for the win. If he gets this, he will move into gold position in deadlift and overall.
And he's doing it. Ooh.
Wow, can he lock it out? His knees are locked.
Oh, unfortunate. It was a very nice effort, nevertheless.
Yeah, unfortunately, but he did so well.
I was ready to swallow my previous words because I said it's gonna be too much, and for a second I thought he was going to do it, but unfortunately it was just a stitch too heavy.
Yeah, and that now leaves one more person who can try and steal the title from Belush, and that is right now Mizuki Saito of Japan. A 20 kilo dump, 240 kilos to take deadlift gold and to take gold overall. It all comes down to this. Belush can only just wait in the wings. Will Mizuki Saito be your champion?
Whoa!
And he is
and
with
he did
ease.
it! He did it! And he has so much more in the tank.
I think he could have pulled whatever he needed for that win.
I think so. I think so too.
And what a fantastic way to finish the day for him. He pulls ahead of Belush through deadlifts there and wins on body weights. What an incredible end to the day for the young lifter.
Imagine taking a 10 kilogram jump from your first to your second, and then a 20 kilogram jump from your second to your third, and still have how much in the tank?
I think a warm-up room max out is probably going to happen soon. We have Min Chen Huang of Chinese Taipei now. 250 kilos. He's currently in a first, but should Dinesh get his lift, whatever he puts in can be taken.
His first attempt was heavy. The second attempt was heavy as well. Let's see what he does on his third. It looks heavy, but I think he's going to lock it out. He shouldn't maybe not be screaming that much before he locks out.
And let's see if that is a good lift. Ah,
No.
unfortunately, 2-1 and no lift. Blue for downwards movement and red for insufficient lockout, or blue for soft knees even. Unfortunately, not quite there, which means the gap is easier to catch up with, and the disadvantage of being the lighter deadlifter is that then Dinesh can now see what he's been able to do, see what he needs to put in.
Would you go for the gold? It's a 30-kilogram jump now.
I mean, the 20-kilo jump didn't slow him down too much, so if he thinks it's within reach and there's not much to lose, I think it's worthwhile, you know, if he doesn't lose place on the podium anyway. We have Richard Borsk now, Slovakia, 260 kilos. This won't move his position overall or in deadlift, but it will finish his day incredibly strong. Unfortunately, not quite there today, unfortunately. Similar to his lighter lift, he stays really far over the bar, which makes it quite hard, you know, on himself to pick up. Now, what would you do here if you were Dinesh?
Me, I think, like you said, he should take a good look at himself, know what am I capable of. If it's not something, you know, that is out of his own grasp, I would go for it for the gold position.
Yeah, it's important to remember as well, Sipash also has another attempt at that 280. We have Aman Bhagat of India taking 267.5 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump from that second attempt.
And he finishes strong. And it is a good lift.
And we've had that
Fantastic.
attempt change come in that I think
Yes.
we were expecting to see. I can only imagine that's coming from Dinesh.
Probably 290.
He has changed to
no.
280, and that
Yeah,
will pull
he's
him
going
in.
for bronze.
Yeah, I think that's a smart decision, you know, not risking the podium with that big jump. I think maybe he thinks 20 kilos is the safe bet there. What do you reckon?
Well, I think so as well. I thought his PB was 290, so I thought, okay, maybe he has progressed a little bit, but he only knows that. We don't know what he did in training, so he needs to know what am I capable of, and then make the sensible choice.
Absolutely. We now have Noyus Sipash of Lithuania. Missed 280 on his opener and on his second. Wasn't able to lock it out, lost grip. And he needs this to be able to post a total. It is all riding on this. This will also pull him into bronze position for the time being. And unfortunately, it is just too heavy today, which means he can't.
So now Dinesh is already in third position. He does have another chance to change his deadlift, but do you think he will?
Well, once the bar is loaded with 280 kilos, he can't move it down, and the bar has just been loaded, so
yeah.
I can't imagine he's going to change it.
S.A. Dinesh.
You're absolutely right. If he was to up this by 2.5 kilos, he would have got silver. But maybe he thinks 20 kilos is his limit, and we will find out very shortly. So Dinesh of India, another 20 kilo jump, 280 to move him, to keep him in bronze position and into deadlift silver.
And I think that was right on the limit of his capabilities today. Ooh.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think there was some downwards movement there. But the good news is he sits still in bronze, even without that final lift. And I think you're absolutely right. 30 kilo jump wouldn't have been there if a 20 kilo jump was that hard. We have one final deadlift left of this session. Our next session will begin at 4:15. It's delayed by 15 minutes. So we'll have a short break in between the two sessions before heading into the session this afternoon, which will be the 63 and 69 kilo women. Oh, and I believe he has decided to not come out for his last deadlift. So there are no more lifters. That was the final lift. So let's have a quick look at where that leaves us. We have our deadlift medals here. And in the 74 kilo sub-juniors gold, we have Mizuku Saito of Japan. In silver, we have Vladislav Bilush of Ukraine. And in bronze, we have Lawson Lilo of the United States. For the junior men, we have James Emmanuel Sai of the Philippines in gold, Aman Bhagat of India in silver, and Dinesh of India in bronze. Now, overall where that leaves us is the sub-junior men. In gold position, we have Mizuki Saito of Japan. In bronze, we have Vladislav Bilush of Ukraine. And in bronze, we have Lawson Lilo of the United States. For the junior men, we have Min Chun Huang of Chinese Taipei in gold, Aman Bhagat of India in silver, and Dinesh of India in bronze. Thank you for joining us. We'll be having a very quick medal ceremony following this, and then at 4:15 local time, we will begin the next session of lifters, which will be the 63 and 69 kilo sub-junior and junior women. We'll catch you then.
We're starting with the medal for participation, awarded to all of our lifters. And now we are moving on to the best results for 74 kilogram sub-juniors, starting with squats. On the third place goes Japan with Mizuki Saito. Ukraine is second with Nikola Hodunov. And the gold goes to Ukraine, Vladislav Vilus. Thank you very much. Moving on to bench press, the third place goes to Ukraine, Vladislav Vilus. USA goes second, Lawson Lilo. And the gold heads for Japan, Mizuki Saito. Thank you very much. Moving on to deadlift. Third place goes to the United States, Lawson Lilo. Ukraine is second, Vladislav Vilus. And the gold goes to Japan, Mizuki Saito. Thank you very much. And now for the totals. The third place goes to the United States, Lawson Lilo. Ukraine goes second, Vladislav Vilus. And the gold heads for Japan, Mizuki Saito. Will you please rise for Japan's national anthem? Congratulations, Mizuki Saito and Japan. Moving up next to the 74 kilogram juniors, starting with squats, and the third place goes to Lithuania, Norus Chipas. Second comes India, Aman Bhagat. And gold goes for Taipei, Min Chun Wang. on to bench press. The third place goes to India, Aman Bhagat. Second is Min Chun Wang. And the gold medal goes to Norway, Marius Arhaug. Thank you very much. And now for deadlift, the third place goes to India, Dinesh. Second place also goes to India, Aman Bhagat. And the third place goes to James Sai, Filipinas. Thank you very much. Heading now for the totals, and the third place goes to Dinesh, India. India is also in the second place with Aman Bhagat. And the gold goes to Taipei, Min Chun Wang. Please rise for Taipei's national anthem. Congratulations, Min Chun Wang and Taipei. We will be right back in about 7 minutes, starting the third session of the day.